Welcome to Psychopharmacology. I'm Dr. Marczinski, and I'm the instructor for this course. Welcome to an online class at Northern Kentucky University. I'm so glad you're here, and the purpose of this video is just to cover the syllabus for the course. So, a few things about the course. The whole syllabus, all the details and text, I posted the whole thing. So I'm just going to cover a few highlights. Okay, so throughout the course, you're going to have a module every week. And in the module, you'll have lectures where you're listening to me talk about some of the topics. I know I personally don't like to sit through really long online lectures, so I will do my best to keep them short, definitely under 20 minutes, because I know that's my personal limit to watching something. And then I will also post some PowerPoint slides, and there are readings to go along with the material each week. So what are we going to cover? So the course description is listed in the syllabus, and what we're going to cover is all the things about psychotherapeutic and recreational drug use and how it affects the brain and behavior. This is a psychology course, so as you know from taking many different psychology courses, there's lots of different moving pieces in understanding how drugs affect thinking, emotions, communication, social relationships, economic implications, even legal implications of substance use. So we will try and look at all these different pieces. And sometimes it goes right from what is going on at the level of the neuron when you ingest a drug, and how does that change how your brain is functioning, all the way up to larger big picture pieces about, how do we help people who have substance abuse problems, and then grapple with the questions of what really is a substance abuse problem. How do we decide that someone goes from just using a substance for pleasure, and a lot of drugs bring people pleasure, and then when does that really become disruptive to someone's well-being? So as we dig deep into the course, we will cover lots of different things, and I'm really looking forward to covering a whole bunch of different topics. We will cover the major drugs of abuse. So we start with all the stimulants because I think they're a little bit more straightforward to understand, and I actually like to start the course talking about caffeine first, because everyone has usually some understanding of how caffeine affects you, or at least they have some idea about that drug, and so they may be familiar with that, and that's usually a good starting point. So we'll go looking through the stimulants first, like caffeine, nicotine, then move into cocaine and methamphetamine, which are all stimulants. Then we'll move into alcohol and the other sedative drugs like opiates. And then we'll look into the hallucinogens, and then lastly, at the end of the course, we'll talk about psychotherapeutics, things like antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. And hopefully by the end of the course, you'll feel like you have a big picture understanding of the topic. I wrote the textbook for this course, and the reason I wrote a textbook for this course was a couple of reasons. When I first started teaching this course quite a long time ago, I really felt like the textbooks were not written for students at Northern Kentucky University. And certainly they were so dry. That was so part of my motivation. I really felt like the material didn't seem as engaging as it could have been. It didn't talk a lot about human studies, and I engage in research with human subjects in the lab. And so giving human subjects alcohol in the lab was something that was my area of research, and a lot of textbooks talked a lot about animal research, and that's very important, certainly, but I don't think it's the whole picture of the field. I also felt like the material in existing books really didn't reflect the changes in the field. The people who are doing the research today are diverse people, and there's a lot more women, there's a lot more effort to understand racial disparities in substance use, and a lot of the textbooks didn't reflect that. The textbooks also didn't spend a lot of time talking about how you can create a career if you think this area is interesting. And so I wrote a book where every chapter I tried to highlight some careers that you could go into if you think this area is interesting. So you can see where the things you're studying in an online classroom could be applied to a whole, really exciting and very rewarding long-term career. And so I wanted to include that. So the book is available. If you're really concerned about the cheapest option, which why wouldn't you be, you can get an electronic version of the textbook for $42 from the Wiley website. Wiley is the publisher. So if you go on the website, wiley.com, and you search for the textbook, you'll see that you can buy an online version for $42. You rent it for the semester. So that's the most cost-effective version. The book has been published for several years, so you can also, if you like a paper copy, which some people really like to have a copy in front of them, then you can rent the book from the bookstore as well, or you can rent the electronic copy from our bookstore as well. Okay, so that's about the book. You'll need the book in the first week of classes to get started, so let me know if you have any issues with that. I will let you read through the student learning outcomes and the assessment of learning objectives, those details in the syllabus, but I'll highlight a couple things about what you're going to do in the course. So every week you'll have a module. We'll cover a chapter of the textbook. So you will be responsible for reading one chapter every week in the course. And then there'll be a video that highlights some of the things that are covered in the chapter. You will then complete an online quiz, and those quizzes are open book. They are timed, so you do need to complete the readings ahead of time and watch the video ahead of time before taking the quiz. But the quizzes are open book, and so you should find that the quizzes are very reasonable. The quizzes each week only cover one chapter. And then each week also there's an assignment. It'll vary from week to week on what it is. Sometimes I'll interview someone in the field so you can meet other people. This is one of the best parts of an online class, is you actually get to bring guest speakers in and meet them more than you would maybe in a typical in-person classroom. And sometimes the assignments will be on other topics to just bring in interest, and you might write a short reflection for me for those assignments. Okay, so every week a quiz, every week a short written assignment or some other assignment where you do something, an activity or something like that. And towards the end of the course, you will have a final project and a final exam that's cumulative, that again will be open book. So the final exam will cover the entire course. Again, it'll be high level questions, and I will allow you to take it more than once. So don't panic about the final exam. It's important to do a cumulative exam so you have like sort of a take-home message feeling from the course. And then the final project is very flexible. I really hear often from employers that they want students to be creative and they want them to think creatively. And as a department chair, I think through all of our courses that we teach in the psychology program. And I think that a lot of times we don't develop assignments that we encourage creativity. We tend to often assign just the standard written paper. And I want you to tap into those skills of creativity. So the final project, I'll give more details when we get close to the end of the course, but you can do an art project. You can write a paper if you want to. You could create a video. I've had students do all kinds of really fascinating, interesting things. And I am open to what that final project is going to look like. It just has to be connected to the course. So anything about psychopharmacology. Okay, so quizzes will amount to 350 points out of 1,000. Assignments, 350 points out of the 1,000 points. The final project is 200 points out of the 1,000, and then the final exam is 100 points out of the 1,000. Okay, so 1,000 points in the course. You have plenty of things that will add up to your final grade. Okay, and I did sort of list the topics. We'll go in order of the textbook. As I said, I wrote the textbook, so I really feel like the order of topics makes sense for this course and for students so that they understand the material. So we'll go in order. Okay, a little bit about late work. So we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I fully realize that some of you get sick, some of you are working crazy hours because of where you are. You may be working crazy hours one week. I will set deadlines in the course for you. And those deadlines are to help you to stay on track so that you're covering a chapter a week. But if you miss a deadline, there's no late work penalty. Okay, just get it done when you get it done. But don't get too far behind, because then you'll start getting emails from me like, you haven't submitted something in 2 weeks. What's going on? So get your work done, try to meet the deadlines, but don't worry about being like 5 minutes over the deadline or even a day over the deadline if something comes up. I'd rather you just enjoy the course, stick with it, and get the reading done in a good time. I don't want you staying up till 4 o'clock in the morning doing the reading so that you can meet my deadline or something like that. I know you have plenty of courses where the deadlines are not flexible, so I try and be flexible. And, I want you to be successful. So whatever I can do to make that happen. Now, there's lots of boilerplate things and other things in the syllabus, which please read through it. Just a lot of those things will be the same from course to course, so I don't want to belabor the point, of the various things that, you need to know about. It's all in the syllabus. I'm looking forward to meeting you. I'm looking forward to engaging with you in this course. I think that online courses can be really fantastic. They're flexible. You can do them on your own time. I think I can do different things as an instructor for you in an online course. So, let's get started. Okay, thanks everyone. I look forward to this semester.